I need a little bit more space. I'm going to move this a little bit. I remember faces. And some of these faces are a little bit bigger from the last time I saw you. I remember you guys. How's everybody today? Good. Oh, that is awesome. Well, look, I'm excited to be here. Excited for a lot of different reasons. I remember you too, sir. How you doing? Cool. All right. Big thing for me is I'd really like to give acknowledgement to Coach Ralph, to the university, because you guys are blessed to be in the position that you're in. Some bigger schools, D1 schools, they may have a me. They may have somebody that helps you evolve personally, relationally, financially, because these are the things that really are going to matter. They might have that. But the smaller schools, 99.9 of them do not. You guys have such an opportunity that Coach Ralph, your coaches, and this university has given you, and I'm glad that I get to be the one to do this. But we're going to do this together because we are a team. We are a team. I'm so super excited to be here for that. So again, my name is Andre Young. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and I'm the founder and CEO of You Evolving Now. On top of that, that makes me a life enrichment coach. I hate being called the motivation guy. They say, are you a motivational speaker? I'm like, That's the language that people are used to hearing. Motivate, 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 but motivate you to do what? You're all hyped up, but you don't know what to do. I want to enrich your life. I want to enrich your life. I want to enrich your life in all of the different roles that you play. Football is fantastic, but you are more than a football player. See how I didn't say just, because I would never minimize what anybody does, what your passion is. You are more than a football player. You guys are young men, your students, your brothers, your sons, your boyfriends. So we are going to evolve and allow you to evolve in all these different roles and on the field. See, I love football. I love it. I'm 41 years old. I can give a few of you some good reps, but I can't do a game no more. That part's past. But I love football for what it did for my life. It provided so many opportunities and experiences that I would have never had without it. Football, man, listen. I made one tackle that saved and changed my life. I still remember it like it was yesterday. And then you guys raise your hand if you got that play that you remember that stands out for you. Raise your hand if you got it. I hope you got it. And if you're not, you're going to get it. I remember high school. I only played 1 year because I didn't like school. Still don't like school. All I wanted to do was ball. I had no concept of anything else. I remember the whole opening was me and this guy. I hit him, he went down, we win the game. Coach said, son, you're a linebacker now. Done. Scholarships to different schools, all because of that, and that moved forward. The things that football is going to give you and can give you is amazing. That play where you put your hands up victorious. Boy, there's nothing like that when you give all you got. Those times when you got to dig deeper than you thought you could. That time when you had to throw up, but then you still kept running. That fifth gasser that you didn't even think that you could pull out. That picking up a teammate after a win or a loss. That crying on the field after a win. I love the immediacy of football. In 3 hours, we're going to find out who's the better team, who's the better person, who's the better man. Now. I love that. After college, I had the great opportunity to work out for the NFL Combines. If this is your guys' dream, I hope you get that experience. Being and competing with that type of talent and going to all-star games. Football allowed me to travel to places I've never really traveled to. The first time you get to sign an autograph, and I say get because it's a gift, it's a privilege. When you got some little kid, and then all the role model talk that you hear, when a little kid is looking at you up here and you're this giant to them and they're like, can you sign my autograph? It's one of the best feelings in the freaking world. Awesome. But as much as I love football, is as much as it held me. I allowed it to hold me back. How do those two coexist? I just told you how great it was, all these experiences I had. But how did I allow football to hold me back? And gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's because it's all I was. And it's easy to get trapped in that trap. You start making plays, and the guys are telling you, yo, that was cool. They want to be like you. They hanging around you. Good time. The girls come up. What's your number? 36. Oh, you're number 36. You don't even know your freaking name. But you're number 36. You're like, yeah, I'm number 36. And it's like that. So everything that I was getting rewarded for is what I just kept doing. It was my dream. And if you're like me, I was so singularly focused on my passion that football was all I was. I was a terrible student, didn't like school. I left 10th grade with four F's, 2 D's, and a C. That's my son. Please close your ears. Day before the game, I got told, and I was a starting running back and linebacker, son, you can't play. Your grades are terrible. I cried like a freaking baby. Who I had to play? Not me. Got to play my senior year. I played semi-pro my junior year. Didn't get paid so I can go back to high school. And I played my senior year and got scholarships. Still didn't evolve as a person. I just learned that I had to do what I had to do so I could do what I wanted to do. So now I'm in college, still not going to school, still not evolving as a person, almost failed out twice. Son, close your ears. Almost failed out twice, got kicked out of the dorms, and then got kicked off campus. I was active. I had a great time, but whew. When they kicked me off campus, they turned around, the dean of students, I remember he turned around in his seat, never said a word. Pulled out a file this thick. He looked at me, and I looked at him. He said, son, you got to go. And I was like, how can you argue? How can I argue? I say all that to say I wasn't focused on being my best self. I wasn't focused on being that brother. I wasn't focused on being a good boyfriend. I wasn't focused on doing all of those things, but I was those things just like you're those things. Something had to change. So at some point, my junior year actually, I decided to wake up. Some of you are already awake. Some of you are not in the shoes that I was in. Some of you may be. At some point, I looked up, and you remember that thing they tell you when you're a freshman, look this way, they're not going to be here? Well, they weren't. They weren't. Every other semester, I had a room to myself because they failed out. It was like club college. Everything was a party every day. I was partying too. And at some point, best thing I learned, some of you have seen me do this, was this right here, this flick of the wrist. I started to say no. I didn't even say no. I just had to say, in a minute. Oh, you want to party? In a minute. Oh, you want to drink? In a minute. Oh, number 36? In a minute. It'll be there. I just didn't know it would be there. And this was me flicking my wrist to close my door. Once I decided to close my door, once I learned how to study, once I made time for the things that mattered, my grades shot up, I shot up, everything shot up. And then afterwards, I was able to get my stuff and go. And guess what? It was all still there. But I still haven't evolved to the point because you guys are all in these different roles. I'm in college. How many in a relationship if you are? Boyfriend? If you are, raise your hand. Okay, got a few. Good, because you're evolving now. As your life enrichment coach, we're going to be talking about these things because if you're not one now, you will be, you have been, and most of you guys will be husbands in the future. But guess what? Ain't no class about that. Ain't no class about that. I'm graduating with a live-in girlfriend and his sister on the way. No class about that. Wish there was. When I got in trouble, I got disciplined. I had to go to these classes and all this stuff like that. But nothing made me better. I can't remember. It was just discipline. It didn't make sense. I had not one growth-producing conversation in the locker room with my peers. Not one. How sad is that? You know how many years I played? Not one. So you guys are lucky and special. And what You Evolving Now is our focus when we're here as the life enrichment coach with you guys, and I say with you guys. We focus on 4 pillars: positivity, personal growth, relationship growth, and we just added another pillar, and I'll share with you why: financial growth. Okay? Positivity sounds simple, but ask the average student, male, female, adult in your life, ask them how their day is. See how much positivity you hear. They're going to complain it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too rainy, it's too wet, it's too snowy, my classes are this, my life is this, and if you listen long enough, they'll start telling you about your relationship. It's just the way it is. So positivity is huge. I was thinking about, I just want 3 pillars. 3 sounds nice and even, but I won't, and I will not ever take positivity off the table. You have to. Personal growth. At some point, you got to be an intentional learner about you and yourself. You got to be willing to evolve. All of these classes here, and my kids say it all the time, school's stupid. This is stuff I'm not going to learn or I'm not going to need. Most of it, you're right. But since you already know that, stop complaining about that, and how do you start learning about you? And that's what we're going to do here. Because it's a shame how much you didn't know. I was an empty vessel. I had a body, I played well, and I was fearless. But I didn't know nothing. You asked me what I thought about me or something else. I don't know. I was a therapist for 19 years. Oh my God, 19 years. And I would be talking to people, young people, and I would ask them something that only they could know about them. And you know what they did? I don't know. Wow. So I don't blame you for not knowing, but we're going to figure it all out in a positive and constructive way. Relationship, the 3rd pillar. I learned how important relationships are February 13, 2013. I lay dying on the floor. Dying on the floor. I called my kids. I remember saying goodbye to them. I hope none of you, nobody you know ever has to be in that situation. Obviously, I made it. I was rushed into emergency surgery. My kidneys were down at 20%. I was literally dying. I remember apologizing to my wife. I said, I'm sorry, I'm being such a baby. I don't know what's going on. The doctor said, you were dying. An hour more, you would have died. Point is, I found out how important relationships were because when I was on that floor, I only thought 2 thoughts. Does my wife know how much I love her? And did I teach my kids enough that I can die right now and they would be sad, but they'd be okay? That I pour enough into them that their lives would be okay. They would know enough as people. They would feel enough as people. Gentlemen, that will be your thoughts on your deathbed. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about the job right now that you're studying for that you think you want. It's going to come down to relationships, the impact that you have on other people and the impact that they have on you. That's deathbed thoughts. And if that's your deathbed thoughts, that's the way you live every day. So we're going to focus on relationships, all the relationships that you play. Lastly, You Evolving Now formally started in 2011. Officially became a business in 2014. So I've been pushing those 3 pillars. But at some point I stopped and I learned, I said, wait a minute. I've evolved personally. And I got this good relationship. But when your money funny, that relationship can get sour real quick. You don't know that yet. But I do, and they do. Kids and finances, number 1 and 2 cause of divorce and unhappiness in relationships. 60% of remarriages end in divorce. Kids and finances. So finance has to be our 4th pillar. I'm going to bring a guy in here that makes money. We'll talk about money. And whatever job you're here for, whatever you wind up doing, you need to know money. You need to know how to make your money work harder for you, so you're not working hard for it. Truth is, you'll never get paid what you're worth. Ain't that right, coaches? If you do start making that 6-figure, maybe 7-figure income, typically you have to sell your soul away with that too. It's time for dollars. Time for dollars. You make more money, typically you're going to be spending more time in this beautiful house that nobody's there with a wife that's complaining that she ain't home. So how we do that? We're going to do that too. So you evolving now, what are we? Life Enrichment Organization focused on those 4 things, and we're going to do it in 3 different ways. On Wednesdays, we're going to have forums. A forum is not me up here talking to you. I get paid to speak, but honestly, I want to hear what you guys got to say. This is a conversation. You guys are a team, and the more we get to know each other, the more you start understanding each other and bonding with each other, you're going to be a family out on that field. I used to love watching a few years ago the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom. Whether you were a fan of them or not, man, they looked like brothers out there playing, didn't they? I mean, they were just fun to watch. Like, you could just feel the family oozing through the TV. That's not an accident. We're going to do that. I can't wait to come in your games. What's else? I can't wait to come in these games. So we do them through forums. We're going to have forums almost every Wednesday. What is it? We're going to come in. First, we're going to celebrate. What's your positive? What's been good since we've seen each other last? Whether it's on the football field, you guys got families, you got things going on outside of ball. What's going good? Let's celebrate that. We got some great topics. Some of them are definition of a man. Some of them are the power of no. We got to talk about that before. You guys will have to say no to a lot of stuff if you want to be successful. You're going to have to say no because you're going to be offered everything. You guys are college football players now. How the guys look at you, how the girls look at you. If you say yes to everything, you a fool. And it's going to be offered. I've been in your spot. Hard to say no. And you might not have to say no. You might just have to say in a minute and see what happens. We talk about that. We talk about family. We talk about friendships. We talk about passion. We talk about success. Look, all positively, constructively, building and evolving. Then we end with a person of the week. What's your name here, man? Jazon. So Jazon, you get selected. You're the person of the week. What's your goal? Depending on what we talked about, what's your goal about that? You put your information, phone number, whatever you're comfortable with, and your goal there. Everybody here, take a picture of it. Jazon is the point of focus for the next week. How can we help you with that? Hey, have you thought about this? How you doing with that? That's how you become family. Offense helping the defensive guy helping this guy. What's your name? Josh. We got to get to Josh helping Jazon. Not Josh helping Josh. Not Jazon helping Jazon. Not offense helping offense and beating the defense. Family. You start helping him. The best way to motivate anyone is to meet their deepest need. You got to first know what it is. And then the player next to you got to know what it is. Your coaches got to know what it is. And once we know, shame on us for not helping with it. Shame on us not helping with it. The second thing we have are our events. We're going to have 2 events per semester. This one, the first one we got money. We're going to do money. And then we're going to have the dedication to excellence ceremony. You dedicate yourself to excellence. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be awesome. Then we'll have some other ones next week. We have a dream leader team from real estate, fashion, cooking. I want to get my fashion guy up here. He's awesome. He's awesome. Right now, you live in sweats. You're athletes, college. And so most of you ain't got no money. I was in college. I have $1. I literally did not have $1 and I had a ball. But all of these things are great to know. The other thing, and this is one of my favorites. It's all my favorite. I created it. I'm biased, okay? All of you are going to get memberships to be You Evolving Now members. It was so important and so necessary for You Evolving Now to take the next step and be where the people are. And all of you are on your phones. Yeah, all of you are on your phones. So that's where we're going to be, on your phones, through You Evolving Now membership, we have a website membership where on Tuesdays you get a quote and question. We are a business, so on Tuesdays we sell. So I'm an author, I have books and all of these different things. Cool, we have all of that stuff. Got to do that, got to make money. Wednesdays, we have the thought of the week. I ask a question from my Evolve book, I answer it with all of my experience, and then I ask it back to you. It's always important. Intelligence isn't always the answer you give. It's the questions that you are asked and are allowed to be asked. So I want to ask powerful questions after giving my feedback because your answer matters. Think about the question, but live your answer. Live your answer. How can your life be worse if you lived your answer from a positive standpoint? Just like I used to hate leg day, but I knew I had to do it. If I did it, how could my life be worse? It's all your balance, your strength, your explosion. Better do your legs. If you are not doing your legs, I implore you, do your legs. You are an athlete. Shame on you. That was off topic, but please do your legs. So where I leave off, we have our events, we have our forums, we have our events, we have the app. So if you have an iPhone, if you don't have an iPhone, we'll get to that. If you have an iPhone, we just came out with an app. The app will send notifications to you every day when you wake up. Boom, it's right there. Boom, it's right there. All you got to do is hit it. My web team is going to put your information in. I'm going to give coaches, you're going to put your name, phone number, email address. My web team is going to put all of that in. You'll get an email with a username and password. When you get something that's paid for You Evolving Now members, you are a member. Put in your username and password. Boom, right there. I'm going to show you how to use it next week. Well, next time we're here. Because people don't have iPhones. Because your college students said the phone plan and I don't want to put the app and I don't have a space. We're going to do a GroupMe app. Okay? So everybody's going to download GroupMe, and every morning it's going to come right there. Now, I know I'm a dinosaur. I know the generation is on Snapchat, but do you guys have Facebook accounts? Raise your hand if you do. Most do. Okay. One of the easier things, we have a secret Facebook page of community with adults, with adult You Evolving Now members, all positive people. The videos are there. We are going to give you access to everything that we have. So as you're walking to class and there's a blog, there's a quote and question of the day, there's the blog of the week, there's the You Evolving Now in 3 show that I do. All of these things are there. As you're walking to class, as you're eating lunch, do it. Be an intentional learner. Every day your phone is going to chime. Bing, 1 time a day. What you do with it is going to be up to you. What is it going to hurt? So guys, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. I am so excited to be a part of Alvernia University football. And you guys are at such a precipice. You're the first ones that do this. Everything you do is a record. You set the culture for the next generation here. You talk about a 4-year staple. You guys want to be here. What you do, what we do matters. And I hope that you guys are excited. I wish I had pad up. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. So thank you for your time. I look forward to it, and enjoy.